And we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Coleman from ApocatastasisInstitute, an Institute for the Humanities, an alternative college and high school here on New Milford, Connecticut, USA. The purpose of this recording is to cover our Greek class here at ApocatastasisInstitute. The music you had was called Dancing Greeks, not Dancing Israelis, Dancing Greeks. And YouTube tells me that it is a approximation of ancient Greek music. In any case, it's good Greek music, and this series, every third weekday, I should say, is going to look at the basics of the Greek language. So here at Apokatastasis, we can teach Arabic and Greek at an introductory level, and we can go much, much deeper when it comes to the Latin language. Please God, in time, this proficiency will increase across the board. I would encourage you, before we step off, to check out the website of Apokatastasis. Check out our different classes, our different seminars, our related sciences, such as Angela Malik's music classes. We have our project, which is right now a daily broadcast, but it's going to become much more in the years ahead. And finally, we have our cursive handwriting summer intensive, perfect for young children who don't know how to use a pen or a pencil, much less to do so beautifully. So please check that out. And all sorts of other ramblings from myself, including my discussion on our need here in Holy Connecticut for a physical space. All sorts of things. You could fill up your whole life with all the good stuff here at Apokatastasis. But let's fill up a few minutes with our Greek study. So these regular broadcasts in the various languages, we get to make our way through the texts that we use here in class and to stay proficient, hopefully, to spark an interest in study. And this is not the appropriate time to discuss why it is intelligent to study classical languages, or in the case of Arabic, a modern language. But we will get there, don't you worry. And indeed, Greek itself is still a spoken language, although quite different than Attic or Koine Greek. But we'll get to those differences. The book that we're going to be using in our time together is Athenaze. Athenaze. Greek, like Latin, which it is similar to in many ways, is a language such that you pronounce every letter. Now, we're looking at Latin letters here, but when it comes to the alphabet, which will cause us our first hiccup, no doubt, we'll spend plenty of time on the alphabet. We need to be aware, maybe mercifully, that unlike English and unlike Arabic, there are no hidden letters and secret sounds and all of this. So Athenaze is what you see, and Athenaze is what you get. Subtitled An Introduction to Ancient Greek, Book 1. And we see that it was published, the second edition, by Maurice Malum, who I don't know from Adam, though we will get to know him some, and Gilbert Law. That name rings a bell. Gilbert Law. Oh, yeah, I visited that guy. Oh, yeah, that's the guy who was the American agent for Ecce Romani. Oh, my goodness, small world. Well, I figured if Gilbert Law knocked it out of the park with Ecce Romani, I've no doubt him and Mr. Balme, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. I'm no doubt these two gentlemen did as much with Athenaze. So it is comforting to see a familiar name here, someone who's taken us for all these years. Oh my goodness gracious, how long have I been teaching with Ecce Romani? Taken us through Ecce Romani, and a gentleman who actually at one point invited me to his house to take a look at the entire Ecce Romani set up in Amherst. I think I only had to take, it was Route 202 all the way up. memory serves. God be with the days. All right, so we're just going to get oriented here. So this is from Oxford University Press, 2003. And we're just going to read a bit from the preface for today. Don't you worry, we'll get into the specifics as we get closer, but we got plenty of time here. I'll just cite this proper and just check the tech and we'll be off to the races. There we go. That's grand. Okay, we'll just read a page or two and that'll do us for today. This second edition of ApocatastasisInstitute was produced on the basis of suggestions made by anonymous reviewers contacted by Oxford University Press and with inspiration from L. Miraglia and T.F. Bori's Italian edition of Athanase. So interesting, Ecce Romani was originally Scottish, and this was originally Italian. We are grateful to these teachers and professors, and also to the following, who read versions of the revised edition at various stages, offered innumerable helpful suggestions, and caught many errors, typographical and other. And then they list these worthy scholars. Download the PDF. You can do that freely for the moment from archive.org. But appropriate to our time together, the new features of this revised textbook include the following. Short passages from classical and New Testament Greek in virtually every chapter. So classical is what we call Attic Greek, or the Greek of Homer. New Testament Greek is a simpler Greek by far. And it is indeed most famously the Greek of the New Testament times. A strand titled Greek Wisdom with sayings of the 7 wise men of archaic Greek at various points throughout Book 1 and fragments of Heraclitus at various points throughout chapters 18 through 28 in Book 2, with some stuff from Socrates. I remember that from Ecce Romani as well, that they have all of these sub-threads, maybe too many in Ecce Romani, at least with the frequency that I've been accustomed to teach it. Some rearrangement of the sequence in which grammar is introduced so that the future tense and passive voice are now introduced in Book 1, and the first 3 principal parts of verbs are now listed in Chapter 10, with full sets of principal parts being given in Book 2 as before. Fuller grammatical and linguistic explanations throughout, including material on accents provided along the way, as needed for completing exercises accurately. New descriptive terminology for tenses of verbs. Many new exercises, including periodic requests for students to photocopy blank verb charts at the ends of Book 1 and 2 and to fill in forms of requested verbs, adding new forms as they are learned. New insertions titled Practice, requesting that students write out sets of nouns, matching adjectives, and presentation of the most new grammar by Chapter 28, with some stuff from Thucydides and Aristophanes. The purpose of the course remain as they were in the first edition, as they are spelled out in the introduction. We hope that inclusion of classical and New Testament passages will attract more students to the study of Greek, and that this revised edition will help expand interest in the study of Greek in North America. Signed, Maurice Ballum and Gilbert Lawler. Buffering. I don't know if you can see that in the lower end. It says extracting text from PDF. Where is my text? Aha. Well, these are chapters, but I want the intro. I got greedy. I got too greedy. And when you study different languages, once you do a proper study of one, it's very easy to expand upon that into other languages, especially Latin and Greek, because of all the reasons. We'll see how similar it is to other, well, two, one to another, Latin and Greek. Okay, so it looks like they put the table of contents before the introduction. Okay, well, I don't want to cast about here. It does take the computer a second to pull up the text. So we'll pull the bird down here. And on our next meeting concerning Greek, which is every third weekday, it'll shift what day of the week that is. We will get into the introduction and we will go from there. But mostly these language classes, whether they're Latin, Greek, or Arabic here at Apocatastasис, will be 10 to 15 minutes long. And here we are up on 15 minutes. So I'll knock off here and I'll catch you down the line. Feel free to download Athenase from archive.org and you can follow us along. And hopefully we'll see you in a private class here at the Institute. Thanks so much. Take care now.